how do we get here? And more importantly, how do execs who continue to fail at their job continue to make people who make the things they want them to make pay the price? I'm talking about not just Xbox, but I look at Bungie, I look at all these companies where execs are making god-awful decisions and the people who make the things are paying the price.
Phil Spencer, I swear to God, man. I swear to God, I almost forgave you. I almost gave you an Xbox a pass. I have been very somewhat positive about Xbox lately because out of the three companies right now, you're the one with the clear vision. You're the one with a full slate of games for 2024. You are the one who seemed to be doing all right, finally turning that corner, finally becoming a respectful company within the video game industry. Yes, there have been some concerns with games going to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch, but I took you at your word when you said that it was just these games. I took you at your word when you talked about the future of Xbox, staying within consoles. Sarah Bond, you're involved in this too, because you're all liars. You're all liars, and all goodwill is now completely thrown out the window.
I mean, you know, it's sort of look at developing games that are going to sell. And, you know, Redfall is on Game Pass all day, all night. Unless, like, you can't have devs sitting around doing nothing. And from what I've read, they were scooped up and put into Elder Scrolls Online, which is a games as a service, multiplayer, cooperative, looter shooter, first person, third person game that is an ongoing service that requires ongoing content and maintenance that is fairly somewhat successful and is promoted and can be promoted further. So by no stretch of the means that is a failure to have productive work as a dev. So I don't think there hasn't been any sackings, but those closures or those studios, like, you can't have these studios just open and not be working on something, and until they write a memo for Redfall, this is how you fix Redfall, this is how you release new content, new game mechanics, unless that memo is written and approved, well, you can't really keep the studio open. You see? And those devs are absorbed. You know? So it's sort of like the money is an asset that's shared amongst, you know, and assets are shared amongst their shareholders, right? So it's not really, it's a shareholders' money, and the executives of the company are responsible and can get fired if they misuse shareholders' money. So if there's nothing productive, that just means the family store are hungry. They're hungry for the next big win, and you got to put the dev somewhere. You got to park them somewhere. So, you know, people have heard about Bethesda closing studios, but they didn't hear about devs losing their jobs. You just have to, for the next 3 to 6 months, 12 months, worst case scenario, move them on to something which is an ongoing IP that has content requirements being released. So and once those resources can be, and those IP and franchises can be developed, it's quite a long time to develop a good IP. Those devs can be redistributed it wasn't saying Redfall would never be upgraded or fixed. That wasn't said. Just at this current moment, this current posture and stance, we got to close the studios because nothing's happening with it, and no one's come up with an idea yet. That's all that is. Somewhat of the movement and the mechanical movement in Unreal could be a problem too. People got to realize they should have used the Halo engine, even the Redfall engine. Unreal, can it really do shooters? Movement, sliding, shooting. That's another big problem. How many more resources do you want to put into the Unreal Engine to sort of get something working? The whole thing could be a dustbin job because you just can't fix it. And that's why the Creation Engine, Starfield, wraps into Elder Scrolls, wraps into Fallout 5. You see how it all tumbles? That's the technical problem. It's not even the managers of the family store or the family shop. It's not really a managerial decision. It's just technically, I think Redfall hit the wall with its technical limitations. So we take those devs, go back to the drawing board, we figure out Halo 7. State of Decay is coming out as rumored by who's saying, oh, they're gonna cut State of Decay. State of Decay is not going to be cut. State of Decay is a franchise IP that works well with the Unreal Engine, so that won't be cut. It's all you can do is just bring out a new game with the same upgraded system. Reskinned, they did so much work on State of Decay 1, it was successful, the content streams and everything. And State of Decay 2 is just bringing extra features out. It's cooperative, online cooperative game that's successful in all of its benchmarks. I don't think that when it works on cloud as well. Last time I checked, I played on cloud and it was great. It was great. It was fantastic. So it's just you have goals, short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. You can't get, if there aren't any short-term, we've got long-term, medium-term goals. We've got 10 years to pull off. It's going to fly real quick. So we have to pull the resources into stuff that's going to guarantee us that trajectory and get us that growth. I don't know how much Elder Scrolls Skyrim 2 is going to move the needle, because what if people are Skyrim'd out? What if it doesn't deliver? I mean, it looked good, but if that looks good, it's a first-person, third-person RPG adventure game that's built what's the wow factor? And that's the wow factor is games as a service, cooperative multiplayer, server hosting games. Fallout 76, look how that's turned around. Look at the numbers now. Wasn't that a project? You always get multiplayer games with Microsoft. You always get multiplayer games.